Well, welcome back to 7 a.m. meetings, everyone. 7 a.m. Wednesday, January 10th. We'll call this meeting to the City Council Committee of the Whole to order. Roll call, please.
Thompson.
Here.
Ferguson.
Here.
Speedall. Hicks.
Here.
Here. Fish.
Here.
Rachel's. Rupert.
Here. We have a quorum. The first item of business this morning is a discussion on the RTC Attorney Services, and I'll turn it over to our City Administrator, Andrew.
Good morning, Mayor, members of the council. At the last council meeting, I talked about reaching out to some legal attorneys regarding the RTC project and working through the historic process that's outlined in federal law and through SHPO at the state level. And since then, I had an opportunity to meet with a couple attorneys from the law firm Kennedy and Graven, which is a municipal law firm out of the Twin Cities, and had a good conversation with a couple of their attorneys. They've had experience in projects regarding historic properties that are both on the National Registry and that are not on the National Registry. And we talked about the situation that we're in, the phased deconstruction plan before us, working through phase one right now. And asked them if they would be able to provide some guidance and if they understood kind of what we were looking for. And they seemed to totally understand the process, totally understand the help that we needed, and we're glad to be of service if we needed them. The engagement letter was attached in your packet, and you see the rates are pretty standard for legal services. They're only billed if we use the services. And what we talked about is that phase one is pretty much underway. We're all the way to the end with SHPO, and we're opening bids here in the next couple weeks or next week. And so these services would really start with phase 2, 3, and 4 if we get to those phases, as we get more implications towards the National Registry nomination and what the potential impacts are on neighboring properties. So these services wouldn't start until we took the next step. These services would be contingent on being successful with state bonding dollars, and that would be the funding source for these legal services. So I talked to not only Kennedy and Graven, but also Kent Madsen. Both of them understand that there's going to be dual representation on the issue. Both of them understand the roles that they're going to play, and I think they're both complementary roles as they both focus on different things. So the recommendation is to engage Kennedy Graven for these services, and we would start utilizing them if we run into any more issues on phase one, or then starting with phase 2 as we work through the process.
All right. Any questions?
On a recommendation, or to just, are you procedurally, are you just saying we're going to treat this to the council meeting?
Council meeting and where do you want it on the agenda?
I mean, I would make the motion that we forward it to the council meeting, then we put it on the consent agenda.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion carries. Well, we got that out of there. Now we know how we're going to handle it. All right, second item on the agenda is the Community Arena fundraising update. And I'm Bill Sunmore. All right, Finance Director will update us on that.
Good morning, thank you. In your packet, put a little memo together. This is not new news to you because it was just recently where you as a council adopted a resolution, and we won't come back every time we receive a donation. We'll give you an update twice a year, so this is your first update then for 2018. We'll come back this summer with another one. But Community Arena fundraising, the commitment was $3.507, so $3,507,000. To date, we received $3,407,223.92, or 97.15% of the fundraising. So that leaves just under $100,000, $99,776, or 2.85%. And we are expecting those donations to be in by the end of 2019 is the outlook on that. So again, you know, the fundraising committee just really did a super job on that whole project. So donations, a lot of those came in actually ahead of schedule. So now it's just those that had committed to a 10-year on that those are coming in. So that's just your update, no action today.
So the original timeline was 2019 was the 5-year, is that what it was, or the 10-year? No,
10-year total.
10-year total.
There was a few business
Sure.
donors, I guess, that had committed to the 10 years. Otherwise, all the individuals had 5 years. So, of course, we're already through that.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. That
Yeah.
default rate of, or it will be 0, hopefully at the end, so
Yeah.
that's great. Thank
It's
you.
already higher than normal, I believe,
Yeah.
The
on a lot of that.
collection rate.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one thing about Fergus Falls. People always pay their pledges. We really do not see shortfalls often when we go through projects like this. Our bonding consultants say, oh, you better, put in something for not collecting them. And we say, well, no, our experience really is 100%. And we see that across the board on projects. So that's just speaks really well of Fergus Falls.
Any questions of Bill? Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
The next, I'm going to guess the budget adjustments is in your court as well.
Yes. These are really just some housekeeping items. I have some for 2017 and some already for 2018. And the first one is library donations. Of course, we receive those throughout the year, $2,492. So we want to increase the revenue, increase the expense, so that's a wash, and that our librarian can apply those to the budget. And police forfeitures as well. We received $2,032 that relate to forfeitures for 2017. And looking at adding those, we do by state law have to account for forfeitures in separate accounts, and we do that if they're general forfeitures or DWI related. And there are certain laws related how we can spend those. That's why we bring them in as adjustments like this. 2018, really the same thing, police forfeitures, $703. And then carrying forward the money that was given to the city, $3,000 for the summer reading program. We didn't hold that in 2017 because of the move, but our librarian will be holding that at the temporary location in 2018 and just wanted to carry those funds forward and use them then in 2018. So that's it for budget adjustments at this point.
All right, so do we have a recommendation to move these budget adjustments to the council?
I'll make that to the consent agenda as well.
Seconded. Your Honor.
Jim? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Next item on the agenda is the agency delegating contracting process with agreement with MnDOT for federal aid projects. Brian Navarro.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Yes, the memo before you is in regards to the DCP projects that's generally associated with the federal projects and Minnesota statute that requires us, the LGU, to designate the Commissioner of Transportation, Mitch Rasmussen, as the appointed agent of the city to accept as its agent federal aid funds from the FHWA for eligible upcoming transportation projects. This was last done back in 2003, so essentially we're updating a process that's been in place. So I'm seeking a resolution for staff to execute the MnDOT agreement for you. That's also included in your packet.
Any questions for Brian? Thank you, Jim. Thanks, Brent. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Next item on the agenda. Yes, I'm sorry, consent agenda on that. And the next item is the CenturyLink easement agreement. Brian?
Yes, thank you. This is for public improvement 9698, the Fergus Falls Public Library Renewal Project. This is an easement request. Since we started construction, CenturyLink has a main telecommunications hub that had to be temporarily relocated to facilitate the building foundation construction. Since then, we've have it relocated, but we've come up with a more permanent alignment to relocate these telecommunications that generally traverse across the property on Hamden. So in general, if you look at, refer to the attached exhibits and everything, they're looking for a small utility easement, generally located 5 feet on the west boundary adjacent to Cascade, and then 10 feet on the easterly property line. We're requesting 10 feet on the easterly side. That will help with the installation and the proposed improvements in that general vicinity on that area. So requesting authorization for myself and the city attorney to execute an easement agreement between the city of Fergus Falls and Quest DBA CenturyLink.
Any questions for Brian? Thank you, Darren.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tom. And we can put that on the consent agenda, I assume? Please. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. And final item on the agenda is Public Improvement 5951, 2018 Street and Utility Improvement Project.
Yes, thank you. This new addition here is in regards to the upcoming 2018, one of the upcoming 2018 street and utility improvement projects. We're looking to refer to this as Public Improvement 5954. If you recall, back in 2017, we were contemplating this, what's the next reconstruction project for the city of Fergus Falls. Junius Avenue was the candidate that we proceeded with last year. That's substantially completed and below budget. At this time, we're looking at the next potential area to make an improvement. This particular area that we're referring to is generally bound East Summit Avenue between Sheridan Street and Burlington. And you can also please refer to the map. It's highlighted. That's a general vicinity map is what we're looking at. We're also looking at East Highland Avenue, Sheridan Street to Burlington, East Mount Faith Avenue, Sheridan Street to Burlington Avenue, and Sheridan Street, Summit Avenue to Mount Faith. We're also looking to add, because we're very well aware that Burlington Avenue generally from Mount Faith to Randolph exhibits some of the same deficiencies that we're looking at right now. But just based on the price and everything, we're going to be reviewing that. We may look to do it as an alternate or a completely separate project. But we'd like to get some areas addressed in this general vicinity. This project, we're looking for funding. We're still in the initiation phase, but we're looking to do a small portion through special assessments and the rest remaining through city enterprise funds. To do that, requesting preliminary engineering report would be done to begin this process and look at the estimated budget and schedule and preliminary assessment rules. The reason we're starting this now, because we do have a process to begin with, but we believe we could have this project constructed this summer and substantial completion this fall. So at this time is the few recommendations here. Initiate the public improvement numbers 7200, 7762, 8192. Next action, I'm looking to combine these same PI numbers 7200, 7762, and 8192 into CP, Combined Project 5954. Requesting order the preliminary engineering report and accept Moore Engineering's professional service proposal for the PER in the amount of $17,000.
Got all that?
And one side note, we'd probably be bonding for a portion of this as well. So as we put together our financing plans for the projects, when we look at all the projects we're going to do, just giving you a heads up, we'd be coming back and we would look at bonding for some of this as well. So the street portions for sure.
CP 5954 is what you're looking for.
That's a combined,
Combined
yes.
project.
And please note, this project's, as a lot of you are aware, the road conditions, everything that we have there, and it's been our capital improvement project plan for quite some time, so.
Sure. Any questions of Brian? Yes, Justin.
I just have one on the Summit Avenue. There was a comment from a citizen that lived on that regarding the curb and gutter.
Yes.
Is that, I'm assuming that's included in this phase?
We would be, my recommendation at this time, it's segmented there and everything, but along that Summit Avenue where I'm very well aware where you're referring to, we've had constant maintenance issues, but yes, short answer, yeah, we'd be looking to install curb and gutter and make it more of an urban road section there. Not
Okay.
necessarily change the width, but that would be making an urban section.
Okay. Then just to follow, if I could, with water flow, is that going to impact? And I would assume with the curb and gutter, we'd have more water flow going down the west side of that hill. So will we have enough capacity in the drains to capture that, or are we?
That would be, yeah, that would be part of the hydraulics design.
Okay.
We would look at that, adding maybe some more catch basins, a small extension of the storm sewer whatever it takes to
Okay.
facilitate it. But the same drainage, we're not changing the drainage pattern, just time of concentration is referred to, but yes, we
Okay.
accounting for that.
Thanks, Brian.
Any other questions of Brian? Not, do we have a recommendation?
So do we need four resolution, or four motions all in one? I'll make it.
I'll second that, Your Honor. Efficiency, I like it. All right. Put that on the consent agenda as well, I believe, correct? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Brian, can I ask, Your Honor, may I ask Brian, an unrelated question? Just out of curiosity, and don't, feel free not to take too much time on it, but where does Burlington Avenue fit into the plan? That's pretty rough, up at the top of the hill by the high school there?
Yes, that's Burlington, we're going to be reviewing it as well. We may look to add it as an alternate if financing, logistics and everything. That's the main thing when you're doing the reconstruction is logistics to closing everything down. We can do, there's a variety of ways we can do that, but we're going to be looking at that. We may do that as in-house. We may look to introduce it if this project goes, if we do begin advertising, introduce it as an alternate or as a separate PI project. That, we're aware of it.
Okay.
It's just not in this current proposal right now.
Sure. I happen to notice that one because I ride it on my bike every morning.
Yeah, it's not too much better condition.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, would that not be a conflict of interest?
And I've gotten several calls on it.
Enough ice in there, it flattens it right out.
But I would like to note though, if for some reason, just due to logistics and everything for closure with the school, and if we do a separate, we could program it definitely for next year too as well. That would save us a lot of work too as well if we know precisely, but that's very well aware of it, so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Anything else to come before the committee? If not, just a couple announcements. Today, January 10th, is the live Christmas tree pickup, or formerly live Christmas tree pickup.
Well, that was you saying, they're not live now.
I do like the fact that they note that. I'm sure at some point someone threw like a plastic Christmas tree on the boulevard and said, pick it up, right? So anyway, live Christmas tree pickup today, Wednesday, have them out there by now. January 15th is the holiday next Monday, so 16th is our council meeting for the second meeting of the month. And just a note that we are going to have a legislative priorities work session a half hour prior to that meeting. So 5 o'clock Tuesday, right here in the council chambers with the city council meeting to follow at 5:30. And then our next committee of the whole meeting will be Wednesday, January 31st. Tom?
And also the Noon Kiwanis ice skating event at Lake Alice has been postponed. It's been moved back a week. It'll be on the 21st.
Sunday the 21st.
Yep, Sunday the 21st from 2 to 4 due to the cold weather. And it won't conflict with the Vikings game now, which is kind of nice. So,
Yeah, and there's, they've added some cross-country ski trails to Lake Alice.
yeah, thanks to the city for doing that.
We've worked with DNR to get those trails established, so it's a start. So, all right, anything else? If not, we're adjourned.
Good job.
Not bad.
That's good.